Hey, good morning, guys. It's me. It is a crisp Wednesday morning. I'm heading to work. Um, and this is actually like my fifth take of this video. Um, I was just really I'm really kind of struggling with this topic, and it's a deep topic, but I'm like fumbling with my words. So maybe you guys can help me. I'm just gonna kind of throw some things out there. You guys just give me some feedback. Uh, so I was listening to Pastor John Gray, and he was doing a little sermon about current events, what's been going on, and he had said something about freedom that really kind of triggered my own thought process to just kind of spin out into a different train of thought, and I was thinking about our lifestyle and everything that we've encountered and experienced. And with everything that's going on now with the coronavirus, with the riots, the protests, the Antifa, the Black Lives Matter, the conspiracy theories, Trump, Biden, you know, what's going on with the other countries, the threat of war, the threat of our economy collapsing, so many things, so many things are going on. And I look at us and, because I'm like getting new clients, like two or three clients every week almost now. And you'd have to be, I don't know, you'd have to be one of those Zen Buddhist priests not to be affected by the chaos and the tension in the atmosphere right now. It's election time and people are tense. They're not talking, or they are talking. They're angry with each other. They're acute. It's there's so much pressure and anger and fear, so much fear going on right now, that when I think about the topic of freedom, I have to look at the flip side of how we are not free. And how in my profession, and in my profession and in my personal life, I've witnessed my own subconscious tendency to enslave myself. So what do I mean? What do I mean? My own fears, my own insecurities have brought me into bondage with drugs and alcohol. Um, my fear of rejection and being uncomfortable has brought me into bondage to food and low self-esteem. My own fear of success has brought me into slavery of being mediocre. And I look at those things. I look at how often, how easy it is for us to play the victim card. And I listen to my friends, and I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes or anything, but I listen to my friends who have deleted Facebook, and I'm not advocating for social media. I almost think we need to have like a college course on how to appropriately handle being on social media. Because I think some people have just lost their mind getting on there. Um, but some of my friends have just deleted it because they say that they can't take the negativity. It was making them crazy, and all the garbage that's on there. And I'm like, I don't. see that on my social media, because I control it. You know, if one of my friends or and I've got like a ton of people on my Facebook. I don't know everybody personally. The reason I have so many people is just kind of for my advertising for my business or whatever. But if one of the people on my page starts spouting some angry, nonsensical crap, I either snooze them or I delete them. It's really just that simple for me. you know, I just shut them down. You know, I don't feel drawn. I mean, after the first couple sentences of reading somebody's post, I know whether I want to keep reading it. Same thing with the news. I got people who stopped watching the news, and I never watched a lot of news to begin with because it was my choice. It's my choice. So I'll do like 15 minutes of news either on Sirius Radio or watching it on TV or one of the live streams on my phone or whatnot, and I'll watch a little bit of news. Boom, done, good. Click off. Even with some of my friends, if we start like my one friend Beth, we were getting into this habit of just really just talking about the negativity that's going on in the world. And I don't know if it was me or her that had to put that on pause because it was burning us out. And I'll tell my friends, like I'll talk to Tiffany or whoever. I said, look, we need to take a break from this. I can't talk about Trump, Biden, riots. I can't talk about that anymore right now. Not right now. I need a break. My brain needs a vacation from the drama, you know, because that's my choice. That's me exercising my freedom, you know. Um, like I said with the elections, some people maybe are choosing not to vote because that's their choice. That's the freedom that they're exercising. And what's so crazy about today is that people are there's a lot of pressure out there. Now, mind you, I remember I told one of my friends or a long, long time ago that I passed the test of peer pressure when I was in high school. And when somebody tries to pressure me, I'm just going to shut them down. Whether it's a salesman, a friend of me, a boss, whatever, you're not going to pressure me into making a decision. Okay, that's not going to happen. You know, but so many of us have given up our right to live. You know, and it's kind of scary how subconsciously it happens. Because one of the problems with this whole concept of freedom is that some of us don't have any context for it. When and I remember I was doing a training with some counselors and I was talking about how extremely important it is for us to paint the picture of sobriety for our people. You know, so an example would be for me. I've always been overweight. I've always been the big guy. I've always been the dude carrying extra. You know, and I never realized until I really worked with Leslie how deep that issue was for me. It wasn't just in the cellulite; it was in my consciousness. I was overweight in my mind, and and even now I struggle when I'm working out with Sue, Brandon, Demont, anybody. I'll hit a wall because being healthy and fit. I mean, I joke about getting a six pack, but I have no clue how I would handle that. How I've got these. I was talking to, I'm going to counseling for my own stress, and I was talking to my counselor about not having. I just can't. I can't picture it, and because how sometimes when you can't picture something, I mean, Okay, see, I'm babbling now. Okay, so you know how hard of a time we have with change as it is, and this is all change, whether it's good change or bad change, because it's a whole new world. It's like Star Trek, boldly going into a world, into a place we've never been before. Now, I don't know how any of us did the boldly part, but I'm like a scared, kid going into some place I've never been. I'm nervous. I'm scared. I'm I'm internally freaking out. I might look cool on the outside. I got my sunglasses on. I got my jacket. I might look cool, but on the inside, I'm worried. I'm concerned. I'm skittish. I'm sketchy because it's new. And often, I was working with a young person the other day. Really cool, young, new teenager I'm working with. And I was telling the young lady that I really dig working with young people because you haven't built up the walls that an adult has. You're still pliable. I mean, adults are still pliable, but woo, you got to work that thing. I mean, like I said, I look at myself, and with all the tools and knowledge and resources I have, I still haven't managed to beat my own mentality yet. And that's just in one area of the weight loss. That's just in one area um, that I have enabled the enslavement of me not really living my best life. Are you guys with me? Because I know I'm like, in my mind, I hope I'm making sense. But the concept of freedom is foreign to us. I mean, I look at in the Bible when Moses came and rescued the children of Israel and then went through the Red Sea, da 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 da. You know, when they had been slaves for so long that when they got out, they didn't know what to do with themselves. They didn't know how to handle it. They didn't know how to operate. And I truly see that's how we are now. When we're faced with new choices, do we embrace it? Because new choices come in the form of challenges or adversity, where you can choose to rise above it or you can choose to run away from it. You can choose to go after your best life or you can choose to go back to the redundancy of what you've always known. I think the catchphrase for this year with the corona was going back to normal. And that whole concept has become scary for me because back to normal for me means going back to the issues that have dominated my life. What does that mean to you? You know, we've become so comfortable with complacency and excess that when all the extra has been stripped away, we're lost and we're scrambling to try to go back to what the way things were when really for a lot of us it's all got to change. When I'm working with a fresh addict, it's I gotta work with them in stages and levels because the concept of total freedom is a foreign concept. It's alien. The whole idea of sobriety is It's like science fiction. You know, the whole idea, like, and again, and we can use it in any area. The whole idea of being fearless when you've been living with anxiety causes more anxiety. The whole idea of living without depression and despair creates more weight and more pressure because I'll use that whole idea of how I should be to condemn myself for not being there yet. So you see how we will play tricks on ourselves to stay enslaved because that's what we're so familiar with. We'll justify staying in a horribly abusive job or relationship, and we'll make excuses to stay there. And the longer we stay there, the stronger the chains become, to where it becomes so painful to break free. Some of us die in the process. It's like an alcoholic that has been drinking so much for so long that if they decide to go cold turkey right now, right at this moment, there's a high probability that they'll die because their body has become so accustomed to the poison they've been pumping through their body. That's what withdrawal is. You know, when my opiate users go through withdrawal, it's their body rebelling and having an allergic reaction to the freedom from the poison. You've learned to live on it. And some of us have been poisoning our mind for so long. We have a severe allergic reaction to the freedom of choice to be better. So what do we do? I totally believe in the concept of your team. You got to get some good people in your life. You got to get some good people in your life that are going to go to the places that you don't want to go. That's why I went and got a counselor because I don't want to live less than anymore. And mind you, I'm not dogging myself. I know I'm pretty phenomenal, but I want to get to that next level. I always want to grow, but I have to admit, I mean, we have to admit, I can't learn new math unless I get a math teacher. There's some things you just can't. You can't teach yourself because you are your own worst enemy. You've already been co-opted. You've already been corrupted. So you got to get help, whether that be a counselor, a pastor, a trainer, a tutor, or all the above. The children of Israel needed Moses to lead them into freedom. Who do you have to take you to your promised land? Because, look, I'm telling you, you can't do it yourself. If you try to lead yourself to a place that's better, you will see yourself traveling in circles, gravitating back to where you came from every time. Because your radar, your GPS, always seeks slavery, sickness, excuses. So if you really want to be free, if you really, really want to be free, you should probably get with people who are already there so you can follow what they're doing. Okay? So I know this video was long. I'm so sorry. I was babbling. I appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. If you like my content, please subscribe. Okay. So I'll talk to you guys later. Stay safe. I'm praying for you guys. Please keep me in prayer. Love you.